Before every election, we and other news media share with you polling data to provide a glimpse into how Americans are thinking about the issues of the day and who they plan on voting for. Now, in 2016, political polling was called into question after an election night surprise. Now, today, our own Felicity Bosk digs deeper into how one of these polls, the Marquette poll, is created so you can judge for yourself just how much trust to put into them.
Before the 2016 election, the Wall Street Journal ran a headline saying Hillary Clinton was most likely to win the election. As we all know, that prediction was wrong.
And we were all wrong. There were over 30 polls in the state. None of us ever had Trump ahead.
Director of the Marquette poll, Charles Franklin, says this year is different, especially when it comes to undecided voters. According to Franklin, there are significantly less voters who will choose a candidate at the last minute today as there were 4 years ago.
So that disaffected group that disliked both candidates and in the end broke heavily for Trump, that's a much smaller number. Instead of 22% in 16, it's 8% this year.
Nonetheless, Franklin says polls don't vote, people do. This message is also being made by Democrats in Wisconsin, who lost the state by a little over 20,000 votes.
As 2016 showed us, polls are just a snapshot of things. We need people at the polling places to actually cast their vote.
But how much we trust political polls revolves around understanding how they are created. The first step, writing the questions. As director of the Marquette poll, Franklin is in charge of writing the questions. He says the questions have to be completely neutral as to not persuade the interviewee to answer a certain way.
We try to write direct questions that aren't too convoluted or complicated.
The next step, asking people those questions. Franklin says they reach out to Wisconsinites on their cell phones and landlines. Those calls are made from a call center by people who conduct phone surveys all year round. According to Franklin, 90% of those phone calls go unanswered.
It actually turns out to be a little hard to call up a stranger cold and get them to talk to you for 15 minutes about politics.
When you are randomly chosen for their survey, you might receive as many as 6 calls in a few days from the call center. When someone does answer, they are asked 30 questions about the issues of the day. And nearly as important as the political questions are demographic ones like age, education, race, and gender.
The demographics are very important because we want to make sure that we are representing the state.
Do the respondents accurately represent the state? If not, they may weigh the responses. For example, if men are green and women are yellow, but only 3 men respond to the survey, their answers are weighted a little bit more, so their group is accurately represented in the poll. So why do we even care about the Marquette poll? Franklin told me he cares not just to know how candidates are doing, but to know how Wisconsinites feel about social issues.
What is it that people are thinking? What are they concerned about?
And as for if we can trust polls, Franklin says it's more like the score of a football game as it's happening. It tells you who is winning, but not who's won. And again, polls don't vote, people do.
Reporting for Eau Claire's own News 18, I'm Felicity Bosk.
Another key aspect to take into account when looking at any poll is the margin of error. That takes a number of factors into account. For example, a respondent misunderstanding a question. Take the last Marquette poll, for example. It had Biden leading by 5 points, but the margin of error was 4.2 points. Meaning, if most voters within that margin vote for Trump, the race could be much closer. However, if they mostly vote for Biden, the race could be more decisive. Or the race could fall anywhere in between that. The last Marquette poll before the election will be released on Wednesday. We will report on those findings both on air and online.